Watch Dogs Legion. I played it, ladies and gentlemen. I played about 4 hours of it during a Ubisoft preview event that I got to participate in right here from the comfort of my home with everything that's going on around the world. They couldn't set up physical stations, so everyone played it through Parsec, which is this live streaming program. And so the game was streamed to me, and it played well enough, aside from, a few stutters here and there and a bit of input lag. Other than that, and some compression, it played well enough that I felt like I had a good hands-on experience where I could kind of break down the game and let you guys know what it's all about, whether I think there are good prospects for it. So right off the bat, the one thing that really does impress me about the game is how the world really does feel like your toy box. You can hack pretty much anyone and anything that has an electronic component to it. And there's a sense of power that comes with that. Like, one of the things I love to do was, if I see a vehicle, in the street that I really like, that I actually want to drive, I would hack it and drive it to, like, a wall or something, so that after it crashes, the guy inside flees and I just take over the car, and it's mine. Just stuff like that, just the ability to mess with the world is really fantastic. Or when you're in missions, when you're stealthing around, you can hack cameras and make some kind of noise to attract targets and then take them down that way. You can rig hazardous hardware and set them up as traps. You can hack guards' phones to distract them and then take them down. If there's a car nearby, you can control it from afar remotely and drive into someone if you really need to take someone out. You can take forklifts and hack them so that you can lift yourself up on a rooftop. If you want to escape, you can hack a cargo drone, bring it down, and then right on top of it, literally, which was super fun. And that's one hell of a way to make an exit. And you can take that drone and traverse London that way if you so desire, as I did for a bit. The game really does make you feel powerful, with the world sort of at your fingertips, literally at your fingertips with that smartphone you carry around and with the ability to hack anything. So what I'm trying to say is the core mechanics of the game are actually really fun. I really enjoy what this game goes for in terms of trying to make you feel like the world is in your control because everything is hackable. But what Watch Dogs Legion does is make every NPC playable. Whereas Watch Dogs 1 and 2 had their own protagonist, Legion is all about recruiting anyone and playing as anyone. And there are aspects of that that are really interesting and cool. And there are other aspects of that that are less than ideal. There are drawbacks to that design. Now, every playable NPC has certain special abilities, specialities. They come with certain equipment. And so you really want to browse around and see what people can do and build up your roster so that there are people who are good at stealth, people who are good at combat, people who are good at hacking, and so that you can fill every need for whatever mission. And there are certain professions that grant certain advantages, like if somebody in your roster gets busted, certain recruits speed up the time at which they'll be released from prison. And then there's stuff like how certain areas are easier to infiltrate with a certain NPC because they might fit in that setting. So if you're infiltrating a construction area, then finding someone who is a construction worker will allow you to kind of breeze through that and kind of walk around as if you're one of them and infiltrate that way. Another special NPC and type of a recruit is the spy, which can summon a spy car that literally shoots rockets. So there's not only the sense of power from the fact that you can hack the world, but also from the fact that you can literally recruit anyone and use anyone's skills to your advantage, depending on what you need at any given situation. And it's this ambitious concept that I definitely applaud them for. Now, the one major drawback to this is that you don't really get attached to any one character, at least in my experience. For me, a compelling story is all about both a good plot and interesting and relatable characters. And on the characters department, there's just not much going on here. Characters are just not all that interesting. They feel kind of cookie cutter and generic because you're not really focused on one person's story, but rather you're a whole collective, essentially. You're kind of a bit of a hive mind. So it's hard to get attached to any one character. There's a stronger emphasis on sacrificing characters for this gameplay idea of play as anyone and take advantage of anyone's skills. And so I guess the main character really is the hacktivist organization as a whole, DedSec. You're not an individual, you are an entire organization, and there's a level of emotional detachment as far as characters and narrative goes. So the conspiracy is the big narrative driving force of this game. But so far, the conspiracy itself isn't super interesting to me. I don't know, I only got to play 4 hours and only got to do like 3 main quests, so maybe the story will develop in such a way that it'll captivate me, but what the demo showed to me, I wasn't super interested in, I wasn't captivated by it. I was more about the gameplay, and the story just felt like an excuse to drive forth the gameplay. And while there isn't a main protagonist, there are supporting characters, villains, very specific villains. I did meet one villain in this demo who runs this security force, and he's just very mustache-twirly evil guy. I don't know. He's just very stereotypical villain. Nothing about him stood out, per se. So I wasn't attached to any character. The conspiracy itself has an interesting setup, but the developments that I saw in the demo itself didn't really hook me. So narratively, that's where I'm at. The gameplay is super solid. Shooting feels fine. Driving also feels fine. Neither is exceptional, but they're both very much functional and get the job done. There is a tech tree that allows you to spend points to upgrade equipment that your recruits have. So, like, there is this stun gun that you can get a silencer for with an upgrade. And so all of these various equipments that the NPCs you recruit come with can be upgraded, and that paves the road for, you know, you having an easier time with infiltrating compounds or having more firepower, whatever it is, just having more tools. But every NPC you recruit shares one thing, and it's the ability to hack anything, and that really is the strength of Watch Dogs. It is the signature of Watch Dogs. They evolved it from Watch Dogs 1. Watch Dogs 2 was pretty well received, generally speaking. Watch Dogs Legion kind of carries that forth and extrapolates on that. Now, solid mechanics are one thing. The hacking aspect of the game really is sublime, but it needs to be backed by compelling missions and activities. And that's where I really get worried with Watch Dogs Legion. As far as main missions go, I felt that the quality varied based on my experience. I did like some of the early ones. The intro mission in particular, I quite enjoyed. I thought there was a lot going on. It was fairly dynamic. And then one of the later missions that I played, actually, I think it was the last main mission that I played, was a chore. It involved me just walking around as a security guard trying to not get spotted by other security guards. And that mission I found to be fairly tedious. It wasn't fun at all to just walk around NPCs, essentially. It just wasn't a compelling setup. And with main missions, I'm beginning to notice this over-reliance on this hacking puzzle minigame that was kind of neat the first time, but the more I kept doing this, the more I didn't want to do this and just get back to the stuff that I enjoy more about Watch Dogs, the third-person gameplay with live hacking, and, you know, manipulating the world around me to further my goals. Like, that's the thing that I like about this game. This puzzle-solving aspect, it gets more complex, but in turn it also gets more tedious rather than more fun. I hope we don't see this too frequently, personally. So main missions were a mixed bag. Obviously, I have to play through the whole game to see how compelling they can get, whether there is enough variety in the activities that you do during these main missions, enough set pieces to keep me hooked. And then we have what are called recruitment missions, which are missions that you do for NPCs who you want to recruit. And these are very cookie cutter and lack in variety. I was afraid this would happen. I mean, there's no way they could make, you know, separate missions for every single NPC in the game, so there was bound to be some repetition, but the level of repetitiveness in these missions was pretty immersion-breaking. In the 4 hours that I played of this game, I encountered one particular recruitment mission twice. The mission involved the NPC you wanted to recruit wanting to see a friend's body to confirm they're actually dead, because they were told their friend was dead but never actually got to see the body. So you infiltrate this hospital, get patient records, then download intel from a nearby NPC, and you can hack his phone to download that data, which then takes you to this other facility where it turns out the friend is alive and held captive, so you rescue that person. I played that mission twice for 2 NPCs that I recruited, and there was no variety in level design. They were the exact same locations, the exact same levels, exact carbon copy missions, and that's within the first 4 hours of the game that I'm already encountering repeat missions. And these 2 NPCs who I recruited, for whom I did the exact same missions, also happen to have the same voice lines and the same voice actors, but different character models, so the immersion was really completely broken.
Last rally we went to, mercs were already waiting, and they just charged at us ready to break some bones. My friend got sent to the hospital. When I woke up, they told me my friend was dead, and the bastards won't even let me see the body.
That's just horrible.
I need answers.
So in this 4-hour demo, I basically visited the same 2 locations like 4 times. 2 of the times, I was basically doing the exact same thing, the exact same recruitment mission, and then the other 2 times, there was some variation in context and some of the things you had to do. Instead of rescuing someone, you might have had to hack a server or something, but I was infiltrating the exact same locations like a couple times in a row, essentially, between both recruitment missions and main missions. And so by the final hour of my demo playthrough, I was getting very bored at visiting the same places over and over and over again. While I still felt powerful with all of my hacking capabilities and the ability to recruit anyone, without the missions and the context and the variety of activities to reinforce those mechanics, what we have here is a game that might not be able to sustain me for however many dozens of hours it expects me to play it for. So my hope is that the main missions in the final game will get more and more compelling as the game progresses, that the set pieces will be compelling, that the plot will turn out to be really good, and that there will be unique situations and circumstances within the main quest to add some variety to what's starting to feel like cookie-cutter missions. And then the open world itself, it's fine, but there's not much in terms of extracurricular activities you can do in it. It's just more of a means to get you from point A to point B for main missions and recruitment missions, and to inhabit the world with these NPCs that you can recruit. Graphically speaking, the game does look dated. The character models in particular do not look great. The city, London, it does evoke a lot of personality because of the work that the artists put into it, but on a technical level, I've just seen so many better looking open world games. There are also some janky aspects to animation, and the visual fidelity of this game really isn't top tier. But what I care about is that the game's fun, and the core mechanics are there. The hacking mechanics really make me feel powerful, and that's fantastic. But without memorable missions that really utilize those core mechanics and elevate them, I fear this game will have short legs. But again, this is just 4 hours of the game that I played. The fact that I saw so many repeat stuff already has me concerned, but I have not played through many main missions. I'm gonna wait until I play more main missions. I need to see if they develop, if they evolve, if the objectives become just more compelling, and I hope the plot picks up, because in the hours that I played here so far, it's a very generic, unravel the conspiracy kind of plot that doesn't do anything special enough for me to feel like, oh man, this is a story that I need to see through. So those are my first impressions. I really, really want this game to be good. I really want the missions to keep me hooked because the hacking mechanics are so solid. And I really do think the recruitment system, despite some cookie cutter elements, fundamentally, conceptually, has some interesting elements going for it, and if properly utilized, could pave the road to some really fun and interesting and potentially unique gameplay. But, I don't know. I have my worries. But only time will tell. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Watch Dogs Legion. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.